faithfully delivering value and interpreting great books from around the world. Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today I'll be breaking down the book Healing Wounded Confidence for you. Confidence might sound simple, but it's not easy to actually have it. Like in team projects, you've got great ideas but hold back, missing out on chances for better opportunities. Or when you like someone, you're decent but too scared to ask them out, stuck pining away. Plenty of cases where low confidence hurts daily life. It just saps your drive. You can't even do things you're capable of. Low confidence leaves you down, feeling useless. With more failures, your already shaky confidence dwindles. So, how can we fix that damaged confidence? This book is meant for folks struggling with low confidence. The book's author is Frédéric Fanguet, a French psychiatrist. He breaks down how confidence works, tackles why it goes missing, offers tailored fixes, and helps you escape that confidence-draining loop to act boldly and love yourself. Up next, I'll go through the book in 3 parts for you. First off, what exactly is confidence? Second, what causes low confidence? And third, how to build solid confidence. Starting with part 1, what is confidence? What are the downsides of low confidence? Confidence is key to who we are, showing up as strong, decisive action. The author sees confidence as a pyramid with 3 layers that work together. At the bottom is basic self-esteem, your sense of self-value. Do we view ourselves as able to tackle life's challenges? Do we feel we're worthwhile? We all have unique worth. No one can take that away. This core self-worth should be built in childhood. It's confidence is bedrock. On top of self-esteem, the middle layer is confidence itself. It's about the confidence and skill in deciding and planning what to do. How others judge us as kids shapes how we see our own skills. If a child often gets encouragement and praise for doing things, over time they'll grow to believe in their ability to get stuff done, and confidence builds up naturally in this process. Um, on top of personal self-esteem and confidence and action, the top layer of the pyramid, self-affirmation, gets established only when someone truly affirms their own value deep down and believes in their abilities can they handle social relationships smoothly and thrive in interactions. Psychological research shows that if people don't get positive energy like friendly support and affirmation from good social ties, even with strong self-esteem, it can lead to mental health problems. I, I, but positive social interactions help people love themselves more, appreciate who they are, and keep fueling their confidence, making it stronger over time. Confidence! The 3 layers of the pyramid work together and influence each other. And if any layer has issues, a person becomes fragile and loses confidence. At its core, lacking confidence is a barrier to taking action. A person without confidence is trapped by a set of thought patterns that block action. Well, first, wrong thoughts mess with action. People's view of their abilities and worth gets twisted, making them feel like they can't succeed, which stops them from acting. Then, as actions decrease, successful outcomes become fewer. Over time, this makes people more convinced they're not capable. And as confidence drops, people feel sadness, frustration, fear, worry, act listless and inferior, and even develop guilt and shame. These negative emotions make action harder, confidence shrinks even more, and relationships slowly fall apart. Whether in others' eyes or their own, a person's value diminishes. Lack of confidence also leads to indecisiveness or decision paralysis. When faced with an either-or choice, picking A means dealing with not choosing B, and someone with low confidence can't handle either outcome, so they avoid deciding. The book shares Sonia's story. She struggles with every single decision. After her son finishes soccer, she can't decide whether to drive to pick him up or let him take the bus back. And when the home computer broke, she also couldn't make a call. Should she buy a brand new one or a used one? But choices have to be made eventually. Delaying won't solve anything. In fact, not deciding is itself a decision, an action-free one that leads to negative outcomes. Like putting off replacing that computer until you desperately need it, only to cause delays. In severe cases, low confidence can lead to various mental disorders. Take depression. Sufferers get stuck in prolonged sadness, lose interest in everything, and show physical symptoms like sluggishness, fatigue, and sleep issues. Yet people with low confidence struggle to act, which worsens depressive symptoms. Then there's social anxiety disorder, mainly characterized by fear of others and social interactions. Those lacking confidence fear others' evaluations, assuming they'll always be negative. So they avoid contact, preferring isolated environments. Issues like alcoholism and anorexia also link to confidence deficits. Okay, we've seen low confidence as an action barrier causing life-wide problems and potential mental illness. But excessive confidence can also cause mental disorders, like euphoric mania, where sufferers show weeks of high energy, feeling invincible and hyperactive. Narcissists appear highly confident, with inflated self-views, but closer contact reveals their confidence. Feels oppressive, constantly controlling others for validation. Like constantly telling you you're wrong and only they're right. That concludes part 1. Next, in part 2, we'll explore what causes low confidence. The book identifies 7 major misconceptions, fixed beliefs about the world, that undermine confidence. We'll group them into 3 categories based on how they manifest and why. First group has 3 types. They all deny personal capability. I'm worthless. I can't do it. And I'll never succeed. These misconceptions prevent objective self-assessment, jumping to negative conclusions before even trying. Why does this happen? It relates to early childhood experiences and environmental factors. First, the impact of childhood experiences. The book gives Justine's example. Growing up without enough family encouragement or recognition, she always felt she couldn't do anything right and had no redeeming qualities. And this misconception took root deeply in her mind and proved hard to shake. As an adult, especially in relationships, she constantly felt unattractive to the opposite sex, never daring to approach or pursue guys she liked. Yet simultaneously, she'd blame herself for not taking action. Beyond early childhood, later environments also reinforce these psychological misconceptions. Take Celia in college. Surrounded by people constantly belittling, dismissing, and doubting him, his already fragile confidence became absolute certainty of incompetence.
So, facing challenges, he'd always think I can't do it. Feared exams due to failure anxiety. Feared classmates expecting criticism about being boring.
All right, we've covered the first group of misconceptions that manifest as self-ability denial. The second group bases personal worth entirely on others' evaluations. Specifically, I need others to like, admire, and approve of me, and I must do better. First, let's examine those constantly needing others' liking, admiration, and approval. They believe their value increases only when validated by important figures. Moreover, they view rejection as proof of worthlessness. To gain approval, they mask their true selves and conform to others' expectations for acceptance. They also believe relentless niceness prevents rejection, so they exhaust themselves fulfilling others' every desire. This makes them vulnerable to exploitation, even enslavement, attracting predatory individuals. The other evaluation-based misconception is, I must do better. People with this belief are typically perfectionists. Perfectionists believe any imperfection diminishes their value in others' eyes, leading to abandonment. Thus, they obsess over others' perceptions. Positive evaluations become their sole validation. Even a slight disapproving glance could seriously dent their confidence. This demanding mindset means only constant perfection maintains their status, like in a work team. Perfectionists live under self-created pressure, schedules packed, constantly improving, leaving them perpetually short on time. Then, overwhelmed by tasks, they end up procrastinating. For perfectionists, unfinished KPIs are intolerable disasters. As mood suffers, anxiety grows while leisure time shrinks further. Relationships fray from irritability, like rushing guests during dessert to clean up and write annual reports. They can't wait for guests to leave. Extreme perfectionism breeds dissatisfaction with self and others. Only outcomes matter. Joy and leisure vanish. These don't exist in a perfectionist's world, replaced by competitiveness, like loving piano but only focusing on mastering it to outshine everyone. All right, we've covered the second group, tying self-worth to others' judgments. The third group's two misconceptions stem from psychological issues, even trauma. They are, single quote, I always create problems for myself, single quote, and I can't trust others. First, I always create problems, exaggerating risks to trigger premature anxiety. A classic example is the man who feared the sky falling, like refusing a promotion fearing responsibility, choosing mediocrity instead, or skipping international travel, doubting crisis handling abilities. This misconception roots in anxiety.
To self-tormentors, the world feels dangerous.
Crisis-induced self-doubt, unexpected problems make them further doubt their problem-solving skills. The book shares Pierre he believed worrying prevented bad outcomes, like avoiding travel due to fear of accidents. And since you don't travel, no accidents happen.
This makes him think his precautions were totally justified.
The result? Pierre becomes more withdrawn, convinced he's incapable, drowning in anxiety as his confidence keeps taking hits. Another trauma-related misconception: I can't trust others, I must stay guarded.
People with this belief constantly fear betrayal, naturally distrustful in relationships.
When someone gets close, they panic and respond coldly. They reject others, self-isolate, shrink their social circle, preferring solitude. Monica's rape trauma at 16 left deep scars, preventing healthy relationships for years. She saw others as unreliable, while blaming herself, believing her behavior caused the assault. Then there's Charlotte, raised with parental coldness and disapproval, feeling unsupported. This love deficit left her growing up with fractured confidence. And so Charlotte learned extreme self-reliance, viewing help as weakness, fearing exploitation and abandonment if she depended on anyone. Trauma-induced confidence issues have lifelong impacts. Severe cases need professional help, like therapy, to escape self-doubt shadow.
That. But
We've analyzed the 7 major misconceptions eroding confidence bit by bit. So how do we build solid confidence? Next, part 3, 3 key steps to building strong confidence. These 3 keys align with the self-esteem pyramid's layers discussed earlier. Step 1, love yourself more, building self-esteem. Here's a 3-step method. First, know your true self. Stop judgments like I'm incapable. Instead, objectively observe your actions, emotions, and thoughts. One practical approach is keeping a personal journal to document moments of self-doubt or low mood. For example, feeling anxious while holding my sister's baby today because I feared hurting the infant, or getting nervous about skiing with friends next week. They're outdoor pros while I'm inexperienced, so I worry they'll mock me. Recording your thoughts and behaviors reveals how unnecessary self-doubts become roadblocks to action, like fearing accidents before even holding the baby, or obsessing over skiing performance when it's recreational, not competitive. Show yourself more compassion. Step 2, stop self-blame. People with low confidence are prone to it. This erodes self-esteem. Self-blamers overreact to criticism, even constructive feedback. In meetings, a simple "please speak louder" might trigger intense rejection, fueling thoughts like I'm useless and unwanted. When self-blame surfaces, shift perspective. Ask yourself, if a friend doubted their worth, how would I comfort them? Would I reassure them or highlight their strengths to rebuild confidence? If you'd help others this way, why not yourself? Also ask, how would a confident friend handle my situation? For instance, reacting unconfidently to a boss's critique. What would that self-assured friend think and do? If they'd handle criticism confidently, why not emulate them? Step 3 in self-love, release guilt. Psychology's attribution theory explains how we interpret social behaviors to adapt, often unconsciously. Different people interpret identical events differently. Pessimists credit others for successes but blame themselves for failures. Optimistic people do the opposite. When things go wrong, they don't just blame themselves. When successful, they acknowledge their contribution. So how can those lacking confidence recognize and improve their negative attribution style? Create a 5-column table to analyze thoughts and emotions around specific events. Column 1. Describe the event, e.g., after family gathering, boyfriend remained silent the whole ride home. Column 2. Record emotions and rate intensity, e.g., 80% distress. Column 3, write automatic thoughts, e.g., he must dislike my family, hence the silence. Column 4, develop constructive alternatives. E.g., even if he dislikes family events, it doesn't mean our relationship is failing. Column 5, re-rate emotions, e.g., now 30% distress, significantly reduced. This targeted method gradually reduces negative beliefs to manageable levels. That concludes the first key point, self-love. Next, the second key, taking action, corresponding to the pyramid's confidence layer. A three-step method. First, use concrete actions to spark confidence. Consider Xiaoli, complains about extra work yet never refuses his boss. Over time, everyone sees him as an easy dumping ground for undesirable tasks.
Shali must take action.
B, gently tell the boss, I'll handle this since you're short-staffed, but I have my own workload. I can't always clean up others' messes. I'll help in emergencies, but this can't become routine. Clear communication establishes boundaries, earning respect. This, in turn, strengthens confidence. Also, actively listen to feedback. Those trapped in self-doubt often miss genuine encouragement. Use others' perspectives as mirrors. Look inward at yourself. For example, ask, if I were truly inadequate, why would such an exceptional man choose to live with me for 20+ years? Why do colleagues seek my advice when facing tough problems? The second step in taking action is making decisions boldly. As mentioned, the underconfident struggle with decisions. So before deciding, clearly analyze each option's pros and cons in writing. Avoid mental ambiguity. Don't let indecision paralyze action. Set realistic goal-setting advice. Overly ambitious goals invite failure, which damages confidence. Start small, e.g. texting your crush holiday greetings. A positive reply builds encouragement. Relationship confidence grows gradually. Next goal, a work lunch date. Assess risks too. Since the underconfident fear failure, avoid setups that guarantee setbacks. The third step in bold action, acting skillfully. Rebuilding confidence isn't easy. Effective techniques boost action and outcomes. Don't just act in strengths. Venturing outside expertise builds confidence too. Mathieu, a tennis player, devoted all time to training. When his coach said he'd never compete internationally, his confidence nearly collapsed. He built his entire self-worth on tennis. But achievement often depends on multiple factors, not just effort. So Matthew needed alternatives beyond tennis, like academics or nurturing, a stable home life. Then, if sports faltered, he could find value and rebuild confidence elsewhere. Another technique, improve appearance. Buddha needs gold. People need clothes, holds truth. While some confident people are unkempt, for the underconfident, enhancing appearance helps. For instance, wearing nicer clothes and applying appropriate makeup are highly effective ways to boost confidence. Consider uniformed officials. Regardless of their inner confidence, the dignity projected by solemn police uniforms or judicial robes commands respect and trust. Of course, appearance enhancement doesn't mean cosmetic surgery for beauty. That's straightforward to understand. As the saying goes, appearance reflects inner self. Authentic confidence radiates from within. That concludes the second key point, taking action. Now for the third key, being authentic in social interactions, corresponding to the pyramid's top layer, interpersonal confidence. The core method here is courageously expressing your true thoughts.
How to express them.
First, clearly voice your needs and desires. Low confidence often silences even legitimate requests. But articulating needs affirms your presence. You're someone with valid requirements and wishes.
We can follow 3 steps to express needs effectively.
Step 1. Eliminate negative thoughts like I shouldn't and don't deserve to ask, replacing them with positive affirmations. For example, I have rights. Advocating for myself is completely legitimate. Step 2. Identify unspoken needs you should voice, like seeking spousal support during career struggles instead of suffering alone, or asking neighbors to sign for deliveries rather than letting frozen food melt to avoid inconveniencing others. Step 3. Articulate your needs specifically. For instance, I understand my absence today may inconvenience you, but it's my day off, with prior commitments, so I regretfully can't attend. Structured self-advocacy builds pride when needs are met. Progressively restoring confidence. Beyond requests, voice dissatisfaction constructively, not to provoke, but to respond when offended. While silence can be golden, unconditional silence yields negative outcomes, like being seen as weak, insignificant, or unable to distinguish right from wrong. So, when you feel dissatisfied but hesitate to speak up, challenge those negative thoughts. Don't assume others won't change or that conflict is inevitable. Replace those with positive thinking. For example, voicing dissatisfaction at least creates possibility for change. Even if objections cause friction, it's better than unresolved issues escalating later. Lastly, we must learn to negotiate terms. Many view negotiation as undignified, especially with authority figures. But negotiating and saying no are vital for rebuilding confidence. Without setting boundaries, your interests and value erode, while others remain unaware of your limits. Reasonable no's establish boundaries that earn respect, boosting confidence. Negotiate strategically, list non-negotiable items, and address them systematically. Through this process, confidence steadily grows. Confidence is personality's cornerstone. Without mental health, a good life remains unattainable. Childhood experiences, upbringing, environment, like double-edged swords, can build confidence for happiness or shatter fragile spirits. By recognizing solution with conviction, apply the author's 3 methods: self-love, bold action, and authenticity to heal wounded confidence. As the author states, confidence building brings true inner comfort and quality living. Past unexperienced joys will become reality. Dare to be your authentic self. Your true self has always been your best self. That concludes Healing Wounded Confidence. Reading notes below the audio. See you next time.